13th straight regular season title. They'll do the tip again between Brodzianski and Landon Lucas. Kelly Self, our lead official, once again puts the ball in the air. And we're underway from Allen Fieldhouse. Devontae Graham celebrating his 22nd birthday today off the mark with the first shot.
We can feel the energy throughout this building. Mark, and TCU, they want to negate that energy early in this game. Try to get Brodzianski involved in the post, number 10 for TCU. Had a huge game the first time down in Fort Worth with 28 points.
TCU's biggest win as a member of the Big 12 came against Kansas back in 2013. They've lost 9 in a row to KU since. They'd love to end that tonight, but there's a walk by J.D. Miller. Bill Self now in his 14th season. The only year he has not at least shared the Big 12 title was his first year back in 2004 when his alma mater, Oklahoma State, won.
Well, it could be truly amazing if the Jayhawks are able to win tonight and that share of the 13th straight go alongside the UCLA Bruins, what they did historically.
Rolls off and Jackson rebounded off the floor by Alex Robinson.
Robinson official, the sophomore and freshman backcourt for TCU. Both those guys will have to get themselves involved early on the offensive end of the floor. Robinson, the second leading scorer, the transfer from Texas A&M, number 25.
The focus on the Jayhawks, of course, the TCU trying to snap a 3-game losing skid. There's a 3 from the corner that's long from J.D. Miller, who had come in hitting 15 of his last 25 3-point attempts. And for Jamie Dixon, his first opportunity to coach in Allen Fieldhouse. He has been in the building about 3 or 4 years ago, but it's a first for him tonight.
Yeah, what a job he's done in his first year. You know, it helped that he got Alex Robinson, the transfer is eligible. Kendrick Williams, number 34, one of the best rebounders in the conference, was out with an injury last year. Trent Johnson's final year. His TCU team close to being in the NCAA tournament, 17-10.
A little push on the entry pass intended for Landon Lucas. It's on Brodzianski. Well, in the first meeting between these teams, which was the conference opener for both, it was an 86-80 win for Kansas, but J.B. Dixon's team did well. Brodzianski had a career game that night. 28 points against the Jayhawks, but he's quickly to the bench.
Well, he found a lot of holes in that game, especially in ball screen action where he would roll it to the basket, got a ton of layups, points in the paint.
Jackson going baseline with a tough angle, hits it in wrong. Well, contrary to Brodzianski, Josh Jackson had a foul play night in Fort Worth in the first meeting. He had only 4 points and played 12 minutes and fouled out of that game in his Big 12 debut.
But over the last 2 months, Josh Jackson has been arguably one of the best players in the country. I had them a little over a week ago down in Texas Tech when he scored 31 points, game-winning free throw, completely took over that basketball game. The comfort level that he's playing with right now. The jumper for Josh Jackson is flowing freely from behind the arc.
Jackson with a double-double in 5 of his last 7 games. He's sealed off and sends it back to Graham. Mason the floater. Jayhawks just one of their first 4 from the field. TCU's missed their first 3. Stolen. Kyler. They're going to get past Williams. Now slows it down.
You know, Kyler's going to get the credit for the steal on that, but it was Landon Lucas who helped shut off the drive right there and then allowed Kyler to get in the passing lane. Landon Lucas really the anchor and the most important piece for this Kansas team.
three from Graham. It's short. He's been in a bit of a slump. The three-point range did not have a good shooting day Saturday at Baylor. Here's Miller. He spins, shoots off the glass, gets his own rebound. Tries to reverse it and is fouled underneath. J.D. Miller, just a sophomore, an impressive player. Man out of Dallas.
Well, he's really having a nice stretch of games over the last few weeks, shooting the ball well from behind the arc, 15 of 25. But what I've seen early in this game is trying to attack Josh Jackson in the one-on-one opportunities, trying to get Jackson into foul trouble.
He does get Jackson his first personal, and Miller hits the free throw. Just a 58% foul shooter this year. Miller and Jackson tagged with his first personal.
Coach Jamie Dixon said his confidence is really high right now because he's been seeing the ball go through the hoop a ton. He had gone through a little lull where he wasn't scoring, wasn't making shots. But it's amazing for players, especially young players' confidence. A guy like Miller who's only a sophomore, you see it go through the hoop and how it changes your perspective on the game and how you approach it.
Kyler was looking for Jackson, but he was defended by Robinson. And there's off balance Mason. Crashed into Kavar Shepard, who picks up the foul. Frank Mason comes into this game needing 12 points to pass Kevin Pritchard for 12th all-time on the KU scoring list.
Well, think about Frank Mason and his career trajectory here in Lawrence. This is a young man that was originally going to go to Towson, ends up going to prep school for a year after attending high school in Petersburg, Virginia. And now he's having one of the greatest seasons a Jayhawk has ever had. He's averaging 20 points, 5 assists, shooting 50% from the three. He's the main focal point of every team's defensive game plan. I think one day that number 0 from a guy that was going to go to Towson University is going to hang up at one of the most prestigious programs in the history of college basketball. Credit to Frank Mason and how hard he's worked at the time that he's put in.
Speaking of retired numbers, KU retired Brandon Rush's number 25 at halftime. There's a three knocked down by Jalen Fisher to give TCU their first lead.
Well, that's a nice pass from Alex Robinson. Skips it over the top of the defense, who was in the help side, and delivers it on time and on target to Jalen Fisher.
Underneath, Lucas. Nice defensive play by Kenrich Williams, and it's a foul against Kansas.
Well, Williams just comes flying from the weak side. Kavar Shepard had got lost on the pump fake, but that actually gave time for Kenrich Williams to get over there. The little fumble, then Shepard flies by, and then all ball by Kenrich Williams, one of the best athletes in the conference.
A foul on Landon Lucas, just about 4 minutes in. TCU with the ball, a 1-point lead.
Remember, in the first half, at TCU, they led for a majority of that game in the first half.
There's a three from the corner. Good for J.D. Miller. He loves those corner threes, Miles.
Well, again, another skip pass. The defense is in help side. Vic closed out with his hand down. Got it up a little bit too late. You got to make J.D. Miller put that ball on the floor.
They haven't thought about it. Gives it up to Mason. Here's Milan. Bragg lays it in.
It's a nice ball from Devontae Graham. To only deliver that where Patrick Bragg can get his hands on it.
Williams defended by Mikhailo.
This is the set that gave him trouble at TCU, the little horn set up top.
Skipped across. Robinson underneath. The block of Devontae Graham. Here comes Graham in transition. Gives it up. And Mikhailo three. Fisher has it blocked. On the Gerald Vick.
Well, how about the little fella, Devontae Graham? Not known as a shot blocker, but he's rising up on the big fella. says, get that out of here, and then that leads to the transition opportunity and speed. Mikhailo, string music. An amazing accomplishment. The way that Bill Self has kind of recreated this team this year. He's a traditional 3-out, 2-in, motion offense, high-low guy. He gets Josh Jackson. They go 4-out, 1-in. The dynamics of the team have changed. They dealt with the suspension of Carlton Bragg. As Abuke tears the ligaments in his wrist as he was just coming along. But the team just continues to win and have a ton of success. The guys play for each other. They're as tough as they come. This will be a truly amazing one if and when they get that done.
No question, the conference race dramatically changed 9 days ago. Kansas came back to beat West Virginia here in overtime. A layup by Carlton Bragg. Kansas was down 14 points. Just under 3 minutes to go in regulation, and in danger of losing back-to-back home games for the first time under Bill Self. Won that game, go on, win at Baylor on Saturday. That's totally changed the conference.
Yeah, I mean, that has to be arguably the game of the year in college basketball. Definitely in this conference. How about TCU and the way they're coming out and playing?
And Jalen Fisher, a freshman, his first time to play here at historic Allen Fieldhouse.
Well, Fisher, the highest recruit to ever sign and play for TCU.
Fisher got a piece of that shot from Mason. Now Robinson lays it in, the lefty. And TCU opened up a 15-11 lead.
Well, they're playing with a ton of confidence. They have no fear against this hostile Allen Fieldhouse crowd.
Miller, Fisher, and Robinson all have 5 points for TCU, equal to 15.
You see, one thing that TCU can do, they have the versatility to switch a lot of this dribble handoff motion that Kansas is running.
Landon Lucas and Josh Jackson will check back in for Kansas. Jackson on Saturday at Baylor, 16 points. 32 minutes, had 4 blocks in that game. It was a 2-point Kansas victory thanks to a couple of late free throws from Lucas. 4 to shoot, Mason at 3. His shooting from three-point range has been tremendous this year.
Well, phenomenal. And Robinson, he has the threat of the drive. That's why he can back him off with the shot fake and little jab fake, get the hand down and knock down that shot.
Robinson all alone in the corner. Miller.
Look at that rebound.
Williams, the offensive rebound, but he traveled coming back down. Thursday on ESPN, Memphis takes on 15th-ranked Cincinnati at 7 Eastern. And then at 9, 16th-ranked Wisconsin looking for its 3rd straight win over Ohio State. College hoops Thursday at 7 and 9 Eastern on ESPN.
Yeah, for people that haven't seen that Cincinnati team led by Coach Mick Cronin, they're excellent. They're not only good on the defensive end of the floor, but they can score at a higher rate than they have in the past few years. Led by Kyle Washington and Jacob Evans. Kyle Washington transferred from NC State.
Devontae Graham picking up a foul for Kansas, so he will come out. Mikhailo's right back in for the Jayhawks. Miller takes a seat for TCU. That is a turnover for Kansas. Their first of the game comes almost 8 minutes in. And Parrish, number 11, is checked in for the Frogs, as has Desmond Bain. Williams, and he sends it too high. Out of reach. Brandon Parrish. And the TCU turnover is there. 4th. Under 12 to play first half with TCU up 1 in Lawrence.
In the last 5 weeks has been truly phenomenal, making the adjustment on the defensive side of the ball, dialing back the pressure a little bit. Jeffrey Carroll, one of the most improved players in the country.
Kansas turnover in second. Oklahoma State, by the way, playing at K-State tonight at 8 Eastern on ESPNU. And Josh Jackson is hurt behind the play, holding his right ankle. walk it off under his own power, but let's take a look at the block as he came down. Did he come down on the foot?
He was holding his right foot, but I couldn't tell from that angle if he came down on someone or just jammed it hard into the floor. But he's being helped back into the locker room training area right now.
So a very nervous Jayhawk crowd witnessing that. Right now their team down 1.
Remember, this is a team that already is playing a little bit short-handed. It's really only a 7-man rotation that Bill Self plays with.
3 from Graham off the mark. Monte Graham is 1 for 9 in three-point shooting Saturday at Baylor. And he's missed his first 2 tonight. Here's Fisher underneath. Washburn waits. He's fouled by Mason. First on Frank Mason.
Well, too much penetration being given up by the Jayhawks in this game. I feel Fisher and Robinson, they're getting into the lane at will right now, and then that's either leaving the kick out through the threes or drop-offs like that to Washburn for layup opportunities.
Washburn off the mark with the first. Kansas has been out-rebounded 13-4 by TCU, and Kenrich Williams already with 7 rebounds. Washburn at 59% foul shooter, misses both. Shot clock slips under 10. Graham. That's the right pass for Kyler. And just like that, Kansas now turned it over 3 times.
Well, TCU's doing an excellent job on the defensive end against this 4-out, 1-in. The penetration that Kansas is looking for, trying to get the straight line drive to the rim. I mentioned it a few minutes ago, TCU is, with the versatility that they have in their lineup, Kenrich Williams was able to stay in front of Frank Mason, cut off the drive.
Gets it back and he's tied up. And then well, Saturday on ESPN, Camps 3 of the top 5 teams in the country. First at 6 Eastern on ESPN. Third-ranked Kansas takes on Texas. And then at 8:15, how about this one? Number 5 UCLA, number 4 Arizona in the Saturday primetime game. College hoops Saturday at 6 and 8:15 Eastern on ESPN and streaming live on the ESPN app. You can watch ESPN. UCLA, Arizona, Oregon. Who's playing best right now?
Oregon is playing the best out of those teams right now. Dylan Brooks has really found his rhythm. He's been phenomenal, as has Cole, running in the minutes that he's gotten early in this basketball game. But I said it last possession, the penetration had been cut off early in this game, but you see Mikhailuk able to get to the rim. And those are the good things, the positive things that can happen if you can get in the paint. Mikhailuk draws Bragg's defender over to him, and that allows for the offensive rebounding opportunity.
The free throw, you don't see that very often where he gets caught in the heel.
I've never seen that before. Not off, usually off of when you shoot a wing jump shot, it gets caught, or a baseline, but not off a straight-on free throw that bounces in the air and sticks to the side. That's
a 1 in a million.
Yeah, that's near impossible to do.
Tell you what, it's warm in the fieldhouse tonight. Warm outside today in the 70s in the Kansas City Lawrence area. Maybe the humidity, the heat, something strange going on. All alone, that's a 3 Williams. Just a little bit long, and a rebound of Mikhailuk. Bragg. Madzianski held his ground. Run out by Miller. He has Bain. Finds him in stride, and the lay-in for Desmond Bain.
And that's a nice pass from Miller. Most of the time you go with the bounce pass in that situation, but he zipped it right in stride to Bain for the lane. Nick's got to be ready to shoot that ball.
Mason, a little push off Fisher. Dixon wanted a foul. Head coach gave it Dixon. Didn't get it. And Mason rattles it home. He has 6 points.
Jamie Dixon can't believe it. You've seen that push-up call a ton of times this year.
Fisher in the lane from 14. His own rebound, goes back up with it. And then bangs in to Bragg and commits the foul.
Mark, watch this pass. Graham was ready. See how he put his hand low? And he was going to play for that bounce pass and probably get a steal, but an excellent pass. And then the one-on-one opportunity. Frank Mason gets the defender Fisher on his heels. May have gotten away with a little bit of a push, but he knocks down the jumper nevertheless.
And Josh Jackson went to the Kansas locker room at the 11:37 mark. What appeared to be a right ankle injury. Three from Vic. Well, TCU right now, Miles, controlling the glass. Now rebounded Kansas 16-8, and 3 at a timeout. Bill Self with Jayhawks. And TCU with a 2-point lead. Fisher now with 8. Aaron Brent, thanks very much. That the ACC, Miles, just too good. You would think at least one ACC team's going to be a 1 seed, and that North Carolina-Louisville game could go a long way in determining that.
Yeah, I think the team obviously that can win that conference in North Carolina, Louisville. Duke is playing some of their best basketball right now. They're playing on the road at Syracuse tonight, but yeah, someone in the ACC will end up on that one line eventually.
TCU trying to spoil the party in Kansas tonight. Jayhawks with a win, clinch at least a share of their 13th consecutive Big 12 regular season title. The Horned Frogs playing well here, trying to win in this building for the first time ever. Vic, a second opportunity was not there. Robinson goes left. Flipped up and in.
And again, where was it? Robinson on the drag pick and roll. He turns the corner and he gets in the paint. Right now, TCU dominating that area. On one end, they're dominating the glass. And on the other end, their guards are getting into the lane anytime they want.
Wow, Paul there, he gets Lucas. And that's his second.
Well, look how he kind of drags out the ball screen to step through the poor double team by Graham and Lucas. And then the tough finish by Alex Robinson.
Still 7.5 minutes to play in the first half. And already, Miles, again, we don't know what the status is going to be for Jackson going forward tonight. As you mentioned, they're pretty much a rotation of only 7. But as I say that, I look into the tunnel and look who's coming back. Jackson making his way back to the bench.
And he seems to be walking without any type of limp or hesitation.
But my point was going to be Kansas already only plays about 7. The rotation is vulnerable to fouls and injury.
Well, not only that, Josh Jackson and him and Mason are the 2 best players.
Well, let's go back to the 11:37 mark. The block of Bain by Jackson as he comes down. We get a better look there. That right foot did come down on the foot of Bain. And here he comes back into the game to the applause of the relieved Jayhawk faithful.
Now, the thing that I would be thinking if I was a player on TCU, and I know Josh Jackson went out of the game with that rolled ankle, when he's guarding me on the other end, I got to test him out early.
Following jam for Bragg, who has 8 points off the Kansas bench.
What about the energy that Bragg has brought in the first 14 minutes of this game?
That slam and the return of Jackson has got the KU crowd right back in it. Shepard, yes.
Good composure by Shepard to gather that basketball, take his time, and recognize he had one-on-one inside against Bragg.
Tripped up, and a kick will stop play. It's not a foul. Now they will call the foul. Let's go back on the bucket. Shepard.
Well, this is such a bonus for the Jayhawks. You see the little dribble handoff. He gets a piece of Jalen Fisher. 2 guys go out, and that leaves a free run for Carlton Bragg for the tip jam. Bragg has obviously had some off-court issues this season, but you love to see that he's making a positive impact here, especially Brandon Lucas, saddled with the 2 fouls. Coach Self and the staff, they rarely go to Dwight Colby or Mitch Lightfoot.
And it's the front end. We think that Jackson has changed his shoes since he left the floor at the 11:37 mark. First points of the night. Devontae Graham, Kansas down 2. Washburn sets the screen. He rolls. Williams. Robinson for Williams. Back out to 3. Got it.
Three-point basket.
Spread off. Ball goes side to side. Penetration. Drop it into the post. Kick it out for the wide open 3. Robinson has been struggling in conference from behind the arc, only 24%.
Here's Bragg. Right back out to Mason. All alone. Jackson at 3.
He's fine. He's good. So much confidence that young man has.
Bang! Kisses it in. And TCU answering Kansas bucket for bucket. They're up 4. Right now, Miles, TCU doesn't want any part of the party for Kansas here tonight.
No, they came out, they've essentially taken the crowd out of the game as Fisher makes a big mistake. To close out, he fouls Frank Mason as he knocks down the 3-point shot. You see the little pass fake that drew Fisher in. You never want to help off a ball side shooter, especially when it's a guy that's one of the best players in the country. Just a little freshman mistake. And Jamie Dixon talked to us this morning at shoot-around about Jalen Fisher. He's been excellent on the offensive end, scoring the ball, being aggressive, but defense is where he can make his biggest strides or his biggest improvement in his game.
Not uncommon for a young player, a freshman.
You know, as we were at shoot-around today, and Kansas' shoot-around, and listening to the details as Coach Curtis Townsend went through the scouting report at TCU, I was amazed by the knowledge and the attention to detail that Frank Mason knew about each and every player, from not only the guy he was guarding, but each and every big guy.
Mason's 4-point play is tied, and Brodzianski finds a streaking Brandon Parrish to the bucket.
Boy, is TCU moving the basketball well. They really share it. They don't care who gets the shine.
Splitting the defenders, Mason off Graham and right to Bragg, and there's Brodzianski to take it away. Numbers. The shot goes up from Robinson. You can see Williams here on the near side. He wanted the lob pass, didn't get it. Graham shoots the 3. For his last 11 in three-point shooting, but on this, his 22nd birthday.
One of the greatest college basketball programs that there's ever been.
Kansas up just 1, a little over 4 minutes to go in the first half from Allen Fieldhouse. TCU, a team that's not a big NCAA tournament for the first time since 1998.
Guaranteed, besides a monumental collapse down the stretch, that they would get into the NCAA tournament.
And they have Kansas State and Oklahoma remaining on their schedule after time. Long 3 missed. The outlet from Mason. Jackson doesn't appear to be doing any favoring to that right ankle at all.
No, he's moving very well. Putting it on the floor. Defensively is fine. Rebounded the ball, knocked down the 3 when he came back in.
First foul on Desmond Bain. Team foul number 9 against TCU in the half. And it puts Devontae Graham at the line. We're 1-1. Kansas's inefficiency at the free throw line, Miles, but they've done better in that regard in conference play. Graham hits both, especially when you have Graham or Mason at the line.
And it's not going to surprise me for Devontae Graham. Remember how big he was in the Big 12 tournament last year and in the NCAA? And he's going to bust out of this slump. I know he hasn't been shooting the ball well. As of late, he hit some big threes with the comeback against West Virginia. In a game they struggled on the offensive side of the floor. But I fully expect Devontae Graham, because of the time he puts in, how hard he works. And he's going to have a couple of big games down the stretch, especially going into March with his Jayhawk team.
Hey, you've been in his shoes. I mean, there were some stretches where he shot the ball, just didn't seem to go down for us. Yeah, well, look at you. Not me.
No, and it's kind of just a mindset. You got to stay, one, positive with yourself. You got to keep putting the work in the gym. And guys like Graham, you just keep believing that the next shot is going to go in. You don't hesitate. You have a move on to the next play mentality. It's like coaches tell you, if you make a turnover or a defensive mistake, you move on to the next play and you try to correct it the next time. And Graham has that same type of positive attitude about him, always smiling, having fun out there on the floor.
Jackson kicks it to the corner. Mikhailuk three. Bain rebounds.
Jackson so unselfish. Passed up a wide open layup there.
Here's Bain. He has a wide open look for three. That's well off the mark. Rebounded by Washburn as TCU continuing to dominate the glass and do so again with an offensive one. Put that at Brandon Harris.
Well, to me, where was Carlton Bragg right there? Carlton Bragg was standing outside the three-point line while two offensive rebounds were happening. He looks a little gassed with Lucas sitting out with the 2 fouls on the bench.
TCU out-rebounded Kansas 21-13. Jackson blocking foul going against Chris Washburn.
Look at TCU just working the offensive glass. You see Mikhailuk, you see Josh Jackson, but Carlton Bragg, look at him. He's out by the three-point line, just kind of hanging out, not doing anything. He's got to be in there battling, trying to keep the basketball alive and grabbing it for his team. TCU, man, they are working here in the first half.
Puts Josh Jackson at the line. He's a 56% foul shooter. He misses the first. After practice yesterday here, they broke up into pairs to shoot free throws, and I watched Josh Jackson. He hit 7 in a row to start. Missed one, then hit another 7 in a row. So he hit 14 of his first 15 after practice. Now that's different than being in a game.
Absolutely, totally different being in a game, but you can see he shoots it with the great rotation. He has good arc on his shot. It's a matter of just staying with the fundamentals, holding his follow through, bending his knees, doing the same thing each and every time, and relaxing when he's at the foul, not thinking about misses.
Swatted by Bragg, saves it. Here's Graham. He has Vic on the opposite side. He drives instead and is blocked by Bain. Will stay with Kansas. Desmond Bain, he's a freshman. An impressive-looking player for Jamie Dixon.
Well, he was a big-time scorer in high school out of Richmond, Indiana, Seton Catholic. He averaged 30 points per game in high school. Jamie Dixon was able to sign him in the spring once he got the job here. Going to be an excellent player in this league for the next few years.
Under 2 minutes to play in the first half. Mason got caught. Robinson in his face, back out for Jackson. He sees an open lane. Robinson to get ahead for Bain. Instead launches a three. That's for Kansas. Friday on ESPN, catch 4 of the top NBA teams in the country. At 8 Eastern, it's the Celtics taking on the Raptors. And then at 10:30, Spurs taking on the Clippers. NBA Friday at 8 and 10:30 Eastern on ESPN, and also streaming live on the ESPN app. And watch ESPN.
One thing TCU has done really well in the first half, they put a lot of pressure on Kansas defensively. They haven't got the defensive rebounder to stop and walked it up the floor. They played with a lot of pace, got nothing there, and have continued to attack.
Bain somehow kept possession and just lays it in. 6 points for Desmond Bain. It's a 2-point lead for TCU. Bragg fakes mixes up and shoots over Brodzianski way too long. Another rebound for Kenrich Williams, his 8th of the half. Brodzianski's had a quiet first half. Picked up an early foul, and he loves to shoot over that left shoulder.
He's been having all-conference type of year, 16 points per game in league play, had 28 points in their first matchup.
But his first 2 tonight. That went off. Brodzianski was laying out of bounds. But Kansas will take it out. Brodzianski in that first meeting, as you mentioned, at 28 points. 9 and 19 from the field. He had 10 of 11 free throws. He had 3 blocks, 9 rebounds. He had quite the night. But over that high-reaching hand of Brodzianski, Jackson finishes and will go to the line.
I don't think people at home realize how difficult of a shot this is. The crossover, he shot the ball off of his right foot. So naturally, for right-hander, when you're going to the basket, you jump off your left. So he's a little bit off balance. Same foot, same hand, jump shot. And then the missed free throw block out.
Bragg thought better of it, and then Mason drains it. So a missed free throw by Jackson. Mason 3, he has 13.
And Jamie Dixon is hot on the sideline.
TCU can hold it for the final shot and a half. They're down 1. Brodzianski rejected by Bragg.
Bragg has had a huge impact on this game in the first half. Both ends of the floor for this young man, providing the energy and the spark. He's able to recover, get all ball, knock that thing out of bounds. But possession retained by the Horned Frogs.
With just 3 seconds left, Fisher checks in for Bain for the Frogs.
Plenty of time to dribble.
Into Brodzianski, tough off balance. Robinson did not get a good look. And Kansas has the 1-point lead at the break.
Well, an excellent half by the Horned Frogs. They got the crowd out of the game. They attacked on the offensive end of the floor. Solid on the defensive side, but Carlton Bragg in the end.
With KU owning just a 1-point lead over the TCU Horned Frogs. Happy you could join us tonight from Allen Fieldhouse along with Miles Simon. I'm Mark Neely. Miles, one of 2 things is going to happen here tonight. Either Kansas clinches a share of their 13th consecutive Big 12 regular season title, or TCU, who hasn't been in the NCAA tournament since 1998, wouldn't officially punch their ticket, but would go a long way in doing so with a win on the road at number 3 Kansas.
Yeah, and for TCU, the backcourt of Fisher and Robinson, they've been phenomenal in the first half, and that's why they've been able to hang around with this Jayhawk team. Those 2 guys have played fearless in their first trip here to Allen Fieldhouse. A combined 18 points between the 2. They've gotten out in transition. They've gotten other guys involved, knocked down 3-point shots, both of them making 2. And they've really put a lot of pressure on the backcourt of Mason and Graham. And then on the other side of the ball, Carlton Bragg has been an absolute man in the first half, filling in for the foul-ridden Landon Lucas. He contributes the 8 points, the 2 blocks. He was rebounding. His energy was terrific, and the guys were feeding off of him in the first half.
Kansas did a better job rebounding the basketball late in the half, but all in all, the first half, TCU dominated the glass, out-rebounded Kansas 26-18. And Kenrich Williams is a big part of that. Williams with 8 rebounds.
Well, Kenrich Williams, one of the best rebounders in the conference, and I'm sure that was a huge point of emphasis in the halftime locker room for Coach Bill Self. It was the rebounding, especially keeping TCU off the offensive glass. They had 11 of them for 9 second chance points.
Kansas ball to start the second half. Again, these teams played a tight game in the conference opener this year in Fort Worth. Back on December 30th, Kansas trailed much of that game and came back to win 86-80. Back cut, Rams reversing and scoring.
That's a great setup out of the halftime locker room. To be able to get that high post entry and then the easy back door on the overplay.
Brodzianski lays it in. Just 2 points for him in the first half, so he equals that inside the first 30 seconds of half 2.
Brodzianski's growth in his little bit more than 2 years as a TCU player has been phenomenal. He's gotten a little bit stronger. His post game gets better. He's increased his range.
Kind of short, out of bounds, last touch by TCU.
Bradzianski, he comes from Slovakia, played at Pratt Community College. Could barely speak English when he first came over to the United States, had a host family, Robert Smiley and his wife Kelly. They really had to help him learn the English language because his first couple weeks in junior college, his teammates were speaking too fast for him and too much slang.
Robert Smiley here at the game tonight. Robinson driving and scoring. TCU back up by 1.
That's not the first time tonight the Jayhawks have gotten lost in their transition defense and not been able to match up. But really with their 4-out, 1-in lineup, you almost try to pick up the nearest guy and nobody even stops the ball or finds Robinson.
Great miss by Jackson. Here's Robinson weaving. Deflected back, Bradzianski taking the 3. Jackson runs the floor this time. Mason, who's late 3 in the first half, gave him 13 points, and he's passed Kevin Pritchard for 12th on the KU all-time scoring list. Graham starting to heat up.
Remember, I said it in the first half, Devontae Graham is due for a breakout game from behind the arc. When he got the one to fall in the first half, he kind of raised his shoulders Michael Jordan-like in the NBA Finals. Just with a sense of relief that one went in.
Bradzianski off balance. Here comes Mason behind the back. And is fouled by Fisher. Had he been able to finish that, might have brought the house down with that behind the back dribble.
That was some serious ball handling displayed by Frank Mason. But here's Devontae Graham finding his rhythm on the offensive end of the floor. Gets the little mismatch. J.D. Miller backs up, is on his heels, playing for the drive and has his hands down. And that's an easy practice shot for Devontae Graham.
Hey, you mentioned you were impressed by Mason at the shoot-around, how up to speed he was with all the TCU players, their tendencies, the smart player. We see the ball handling. Is this not a player that can find a home in the NBA somewhere next year?
He absolutely can find a home in the NBA, and it's not going to shock me at all. I talked to their strength coach, Andrea Hootie, and she said Frank Mason, pound for pound, is the strongest guy on the team. He has a 38-inch vertical, so he's very athletic. If you go on his Instagram page and look at some of the dunks that he does in the offseason, he's a freak athletically. He can handle the ball. He can shoot the 3 with range. He's an excellent defender. You got to remember guys like Kay Felder from Oakland University got drafted in the NBA. He was just as small as Frank Mason. Frank Mason might be a better shooter than Felder. Felder was a tremendous scorer last year. And let's take Isaiah Thomas. Isaiah Thomas is an all-star, and he was the 60th pick in the draft. And I watched Isaiah Thomas, who's now, and I'm talking about the Boston Celtics, Isaiah Thomas, and what he did at Washington. At the same stage, Frank Mason is just as good or a better college player than Isaiah Thomas.
And Graham has got 9 miles. He has 15 points. Kansas with a 4-point DH board from the 50s. And, of course, Danny Manning wore 25 as well. Brandon Rush won a national title in 08 when the Jayhawks won an NBA title in Golden State a couple years ago.
It's so cool to have Brandon Rush, one of the greatest Jayhawks of all time, come back and get his number up there. I was fortunate enough this past fall as J.D. Miller makes a nice move in the post to get my number in the Raptors at Arizona. So I know the feeling that Brandon Rush had to see his brothers over there, his kids, his wife, and the emotion that was running through his body. I could tell in his voice was cracking a little bit in his speech, but what a tremendous honor and more than well-deserved for Brandon Rush.
Lucas, more work on Miller.
Lucas has got to finish.
There's a Miller 3. Long rebound, touched out by Grant to Mason. He has Jackson for the lob. big-time solo, takes it himself, and it rolls in. Largest lead of the night for the Jayhawks. Miller, jump stop. Mikhailuk out for Graham.
If they score here, they're going to need a timeout.
Foul on the floor.
Well, the Jayhawks are getting it rolling here in Allen Fieldhouse. Frank Mason to his partner, Josh Jackson, with the big-time flush. Jayhawks up 6.
On SportsCenter tonight, coming up after college basketball. Don't miss SportsCenter at night with John Bucci-Gross and Steve Levy. We'll recap the day in college hoops, discuss the NBA trade deadline tomorrow, and more from the wide world of sports. SportsCenter at night tonight after Louisville, North Carolina on ESPN. That's got to be the show, though.
I think it has to be Josh Jackson. That was impressive.
That Louisville, North Carolina game is going to be phenomenal tonight. Louisville, as much as you can be a sleeper team when you're ranked number 7 in the country, not a lot of people talking about them because I feel like they don't have the star power that some of these other teams have. But Quentin Snyder has been phenomenal this year.
Josh Jackson is feeling it right now.
And there's the piece to his game that was missing in the first couple months, the confidence in his jump shot. He has all the other tools. Competes on both ends of the floor. Bill Self praises him for being an ultimate team guy.
Kavar Shipper couldn't get it to crawl over the rim. Loose ball grabbed by Grant. Out that Mason. They get a little trouble with the dribble, so slows it down. All 15 of Graham's points have come since the 6-11 mark of the first half. He started slow tonight, but has picked up the pace and now we're over the line. Celebrating his 22nd birthday today when he came out about an hour before game time and was shooting around the student section on the south side singing happy birthday.
You know, Devontae Graham, he has one of the most infectious smiles in all of college basketball. Always seems to be so happy, just enjoying life, enjoying playing the game. The other guy that kind of does that in this conference for me is Tavon Myers at West Virginia. That guy is intense, but man, he smiles and he lights up the room or the court or wherever he's at. Those two guys, two of my favorites to watch in the league.
Myers is fun to listen to. It's, you get a Brooklyn guy in Morgantown.
There you go.
That's a good combination. That's some fun. 8-on run for the Jayhawks. The lead is 10. The largest. TCU had it. Largest a 5-point lead in the first half. Just could not get that to roll in.
And the difference right now is there's no second chance opportunities for TCU. Not one offensive rebound yet in the first 6 minutes of the second half.
They had plenty of those second chance opportunities in the first half. A little short that time for Jackson. Crunch time here though for TCU, Miles. They got to be careful down 10. That who could get one from Kenrich Williams. His first of the night.
That's a nice little drive and then the composure makes a nice pass on the back cut for the finish for Kenrich Williams.
Williams had 11 points, 11 rebounds in the first meeting with Kansas this year. 2 points, but he does have 10 goals tonight. Kansas. Bring Mikhailuk back in for Mason. Mason doesn't spend much time on the bench these days. And Bain comes in for TCU. Mason averaging 36 minutes per game, 37 minutes per game in conference play. Four to shoot, they lost it. Williams looking, finds Bronziansky, but his pass a little too high and off his hands. And the TCU turnover is their center.
Well, that was the right idea. And Kendrick Williams made the right play, just out of the reach of the outstretched hand of Brodzianski. There's Bragg.
Don't go down, don't go down, don't go down.
Second foul on Brodzianski. Bragg contributing tonight 8 points. Lucas has been quiet. No points, 0 of 2 from the field. A couple of fouls, but Bragg has picked it up tonight with that short KU rotation, really just playing 7 guys.
Yeah, and Bragg seems to be playing with an extreme amount of confidence tonight. You haven't seen him make that play from the perimeter too often this season.
Obviously, Miles, there are some disadvantages to a short bench, but are there some advantages?
I think there really are, and I don't mind that Kansas has only 7 guys really that can play. Because for me, the feeling is now, when you get to the NCAA tournament, practices aren't as long right now at this part of the season. They're not a pressing team, so they're not picking up 94 feet. But a lot of the times now, you get your best guys, whether it's Josh Jackson, Devontae Graham, Landon Lucas, Frank Mason, playing against the second string guys of other teams that play 9 or 10 guys. So in games, if you get a 3 to 5 minute stretch of Graham and Mason and Josh Jackson going against the second stringers of, let's say, TCU or Texas Tech or the Baylor or West Virginia, that should be advantage for the Jayhawks. And I truly believe that some of the teams that are playing with a short rotation are legit national title contenders. Villanova's doing it with 7 guys right now. UCLA is ultimately doing it with 7 guys. And those are 3 of the top, I think, 6 teams in the country, or top 7 teams in the country. So as long as foul trouble or injuries doesn't come into play, this Kansas team could more than win the national title with just playing the 7 that they have, because their 7 is really good.
I could throw out 10 teams, though, right now, Miles, and I wouldn't be surprised if any one of them won the national championship. It's going to be a fun tournament.
Yeah, you got to remember, in the NCAA tournament, timeouts are longer, so there's more rest.
Double digits for Bragg now. He has 11 points. Bang, quickly the other way. He's showing another side of his game.
I didn't know this young man had that in him. The timing. Get that out of Allen Fieldhouse.
To share their 13th consecutive Big 12 regular season title. A scare in this game in the first half. He comes down, Jackson. You notice that right ankle twist. He went off the floor. It was at the 11:37 mark. Came back. The Metro League fan base. He's had a nice night, 13.7 rebounds.
And when he went down, you could hear a pin drop in his voice. And that's not normally the case, but it looks like he hasn't missed a beat. He's got that transition. He's rebounded the basketball really well since his time coming back and getting that ankle retaped and looked at by the trainer.
Vic. Here's Devontae Graham, who right now leading all scores with 17 points, and he didn't score until the 6-11 mark in the first half. Rounded out for the 3 attempt from Mackay with long pass. Fisher finds Kendrick Williams. Nice adjustment, and that'll be goaltending. Count the bucket.
I like the way TCU plays. Now, they're not holding back here in Allen Fieldhouse. They're getting that ball, going out in transition, attacking. I said it in the first half. They put a ton of pressure on this Kansas defense, both by their penetration and also the offensive glass. There, that was an excellent outlet. Just getting out in front of the lane.
Not only are the Frogs looking for their first win at Allen Fieldhouse, but it would be a huge one for their tournament resume, trying to make it for the first time since 1998. Try to cut into a 7-point deficit. Fisher along the baseline. A foul. Going to go against the Jayhawks. And Vic, his first. Kind of a quiet night for Vic. Only 2 shot attempts, no points. He has a couple of rebounds in his 18 minutes.
He's been playing well his last couple games, averaging 11 points per game. was excellent against TCU in their first matchup when Josh Jackson got into foul trouble. Scored 17 in that one. Coach Self really praised his off-season work ethic. And he probably made the biggest improvement of anyone from last season to this one.
Nick wound up playing 34 minutes in that first game against TCU. He's at 18 minutes so far tonight. It's a wide open look for Miller, who loves that corner. Graham for Mason. Lucas. Going the other way. That's 3 on Lucas. He's still scoreless tonight. He's only played 12 minutes as a result of the foul regime.
Well, to me, Landon Lucas is the whole key to the national title run for this team. He's the anchor on the defensive end. Coach Self really trusts him. He's been rebounding tremendously well, especially in conference play. He reminds me of my teammate, A.J. Bramlett. When we made the run to the national title in '97, A.J. Bramlett had tremendous responsibility in stopping so many pros night in and night out in a 6-game run.
There's the first bucket of the game for Landon Lucas.
Bramlett averaged 10 rebounds during that stretch, and Landon Lucas is capable of doing those same type of things. He's not the best player on the floor, but he's the most important for the Jayhawks to get to the Final Four and win it all.
Radzianski from the baseline. Big rebound. Josh Jackson. Lucas, another opportunity is fouled by Baylor. You know, what you say makes perfect sense because of how short Kansas is up front. Granted, they have possibly the player of the year in the conference of Frank Mason at the other side. But they are certainly going to need a lot from Landon Lucas to make it even more.
Let's think about what Landon Lucas brings to the table each and every night. Okay, he's a senior. He's played in a ton of big games. Okay, the guys behind him have been wildly inconsistent. Okay, Carlton Bragg hasn't been on the floor all the games this year. Tonight he's playing well. Dwight Colby coming off knee injury. Mitch Lightfoot's still a freshman. He's an undersized post guy. Azubuike's out with the injury. But Landon Lucas is a workhorse. Offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds. You have to think of how big guys play. Big guys play 94 feet nearly every possession. So almost block to block. So let's say like 90 feet. So he's almost got to be in the best shape. I pretty much know that Frank Mason, Josh Jackson, most likely Devontae Graham are going to show up every night, they're going to score some points because they're going to get a majority of the shots. But it's what Landon Lucas does night in and night out that enables those guys to be so good and enables those guys to be the players that they are.
Think about the steps Lucas has taken in just 3 years or so. In many ways, he was a lost guy on this KU roster. At one point, you didn't know where his future was going to lie, and he's turned into someone that you say is going to be a pivotal part of what the Jayhawks would be a championship run. Mason just picked up his second foul. Chris Robinson, the TCU guards, not having the success miles here in the second half they did in the first. Fisher and Robinson just 2 combined points so far here in the second half. Driving, blocked by Jackson. But Kelly Self on the baseline is going to call a foul on Jackson. That would be Josh's second.
Carlton Bragg got caught out on the switch on the perimeter. But Bragg has to know that Alex Robinson is a dominant left-hand driver. And the fans reacting to the scoreboard where they thought it was a clean block by Josh Jackson.
And notice Kelly Self there, top part of your screen, talking with Josh Jackson. I like that. I like the official at least saying what he saw.
Well, and I like Josh Jackson going over to clarify.
Yes.
You want to be as friendly with the officials as possible, so the next time that call when Josh Jackson drives, that he gets the same one.
14. Kansas has opened up an 11-point lead, looking for the win in their 13th consecutive Big 12 regular season title.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought.
One of those, but how about this pass from Josh Jackson moments ago?
Well, this is just a ridiculous amount of skill that Josh Jackson has. That's a 6'8" guard right there, handling the ball, the pick and roll, absorbing the hard hedge, and delivering that pass with his weak hands only where Carlton Bragg can get it.
13 points for Bragg. His career high is 15. Here's a Kenrich Williams three. Here's Jackson, who's one rebound away from a double-double. His long to Vic. First points of the night for Gerald Vic. And it comes with an exclamation point.
There's where Kansas can really kill you. You get out in transition. That's your power forward, people. But he's disguised as a guard. Josh Jackson delivers it to the high-flying LeGerald Vic for the slam.
Jackson didn't get the rebound yet he needs for the double-double, but he did pick up his third assist of the night.
TCU has to find a way to get back in the paint. That's what they had success with early in the game.
From the corner, the three is short from Parrish. Oh, the strip by Washburn.
What a play by Chris Washburn.
Now Parrish for Robinson. No third time for the Frogs. We really needed a bucket there. Washburn defended Mason here. Gives him a little bump. And will pick up the foul.
33, Chris Washburn.
Thursday on ESPN. Is taking on 15th ranked Cincinnati at 7 Eastern. Then at 9, it's number 16 Wisconsin looking for its third straight win over Ohio State. College hoops Thursday at 7 and 9 Eastern on ESPN.
Wisconsin's the team I'm not going to want to see in the NCAA tournament. You have the experience of Ethan Happ, Nigel Hayes, Bronson Koenig. Those guys are capable of winning 2 or 3 games or even more in the NCAA tournament.
Zionsky back in for TCU. Jackson did pick up his 10th rebound. Kansas tonight 15 of 23 from the line, 65%. TCU's only attempted 8 free throws. They've hit 5. Miller. Well, as soon as the double team left, he went aggressively to the rim and gets fouled.
Well, that's a nice play by Miller to post up, takes his time, absorbed the dig by Devontae Graham. Devontae Graham went down there, faked like he was going to double. Miller didn't bite him and kept it through the foul.
That was on Jackson, his third. Bragg comes out into a nice hand for the Kansas fans. It was 13-point night. 4th time this year he has scored in double figures. 2nd time in conference play he's done that. The other time was against Iowa State. Under 7 minutes to go here at Allen Fieldhouse. Again, a Kansas win, and they clinch at least a share of the 13th consecutive Big 12 regular season title. Tied John Wooden's UCLA Bruins for the longest in NCAA basketball history. Nice ball movement by the Jayhawks. And finishes with a little step.
But they did a great job of dissecting the zone there. They got into the high post, ball went side to side, and then really big passing Jackson to Lucas for the finish.
That foul Jackson is going to be his fourth. That picks up number 4 in the 6-12 game.
Well, the first possession is on. They get it low to Landon Lucas. He skips it across. The defense has to rotate. And then Josh Jackson, one of the best passers on this team, is able to find his partner down low for the finish.
Double-double tonight for Jackson, 10th of the season, his 7th in conference play. Rosiansky, the up and under. More one-and-dones for TCU in the second half than the first half. Vic. Kyler punches it out. Another opportunity for Vic. We hit the side of the backboard. Robinson scores.
I really like what I see from Alex Robinson. That's why the future is going to be so bright for J.B. Dixon and TCU. So you can have these two young men, Jalen Fisher and Alex Robinson, manning this backcourt for probably 3 more seasons. They'll be up in the upper half of the league sooner rather than later.
TCU with 6 conference wins, most they've had since joining the Big 12. 3 from Graham out front. Foul on the floor. Lucas was pushed. Rosiansky with his 3rd. Jamie Dixon back at his alma mater. No question, Miles. This team has taken a big step forward, maybe a couple of steps forward this year.
Well, it was a home run hire by their athletic director, Chris Del Conte. He's one of 8 coaches to go to the NCAA tournament. 11 of the last 13 years. He's gotten 2 #1 seeds. He's done it in the Big East. Did well in the ACC. He's one of the best coaches in the country.
Trying to lead his alma mater to their first tournament since 1998. They had a chance against another ranked team this weekend. They host number 12 West Virginia. 2 Eastern, 1 Central on ESPN, and then finish up with K-State and then at Oklahoma. For Lucas, he won a good chunk of this game scoreless. 5 minutes to go. Washburn fighting and scoring.
And that was good defense. Washburn just a little bit better on that possession on the offensive end.
First field goal for Chris Washburn. Lucas keeps it alive. And picks up the offensive foul.
Offensive foul called on number 33.
Well, Lucas and Jackson now each with 4 fouls for Kansas. First half, the rebounding had big towards TCU. Kansas has turned that around in the second half.
Remember, in the first half, they led them to 26 on the offensive side of the ball, so they got plenty of second chance opportunities and some second chance points in the Horned Frogs.
Fisher a 3. Good.
Thank you.
That's a nice play. There's no quit for this TCU team. Washburn scored the last time. This time gets a little bit of help when he kicks it out to a wide open Fisher.
Who now is tied a career high with 15 points.
I'm telling you, they get that high-low action 3 to 4 times a game. That's a beautiful drive and dish. Alex Robinson in the paint.
Jayhawk fans didn't like Washburn hanging on the rim a little extra. He pulls it back with an 11. Kyler's 3 from the corner. His second 3 tonight. And Kansas has hit 9. Fisher blocked by Brown.
The Jayhawks getting up high, throwing down hard. And number 13 is well within their reach.
12 years, they've won 8 outright. Last time they shared was with Kansas State back in 2013.
A truly phenomenal run by Coach Bill Self and the Jayhawks. And it's not easy to do with so much turnover. Bill Self is putting guys in the NBA after their freshman and sophomore years, and then he's reloading and having to teach a new group. But you know what stays the same with each and every group as I've been covering this league the last 4 or 5 years? None of them want the streak to end on their clock.
Speaking of the clock, the shot clock expires on Washburn and TCU. But that really has been the biggest driving force. Even Bill Self says it. Bill says, hey, I love winning conference titles, but it's now become to the kids, not being the team that drops the ball.
You know, sometimes it becomes taboo and you don't want to talk about it. You know, you feel like you're going to jinx it. But these guys, they know. They know. They don't want to let the guys in the past.
Another amazing play.
He is electric. Fisher. 11th rebound for Jackson to go along with his 15 points. 2 minutes to go. Mason 3. Timeout TCU. Mason has 20. And the field house erupts. Gene Bartow a couple, Harry Cunningham the last 2. Oregon State, by the way, was the team that eventually ended UCLA's string of consecutive conference titles. Williams, that's a 2. 2-point field goal for Kenrich Williams.
Kenrich Williams is a nice player. Glad to see him healthy coming off the knee injury of last year.
Big badly missed him a year ago. Miller fouled by Frank Mason. Well, the crowd was chanting for Mitch Lightfoot to come in, and when they saw him come to the bench, and as well as some of the other guys, Tyler Self, Ray Young's going to check in. Ryan Colby, Tucker May. When this streak began for Kansas back in 2005, Bill Self's son Tyler was about to take the floor, was in 5th grade. Lucas Townsend was in his first season as a KU assistant. Norm Roberts' his first year as the St. John's head coach. And Terrence Howard was on Billy Gillespie's staff at A&M. That's where they were when this began in 2005. A hand from the fans for the starters who depart the floor. And the conference title string will not end on Frank Mason's watch.
No, Frank Mason going to take home 4 rings in his career. And I think he's going to get that number 0, just like Brandon Rush did at halftime tonight. That number 0 will hang up in those rafters here at Allen Fieldhouse someday.
Look to trap Tyler Self, and then foul committed on Michael Williams. With 1:02 to go. Two shots coming for Clay Young, the man out of Lansing, Kansas. Played in 9 games last year. He's in his 7th game of the season this year now. His first point of this season.
Well, Mark, think about how cool this is for the young man on the floor. That they get to be on the floor for a part of NCAA basketball history.
Three from Parrish. It's Josh Parrish, the younger brother of Brandon Parrish on the TCU team. 45 seconds to go.
Fans want Self to let it fly. They're paying for Self to let it fly.
Tyler Self lets it fly. Kobe. A rebound for Young. Bill Self's Kansas Jayhawks join John Wooden's UCLA Bruins in the record books with a 13th consecutive regular season title. Frank Mason finishes with 20 to lead all scorers. And the Jayhawks got a big battle from TCU, especially in the first half, Miles.
Well, TCU gave them all that they can handle. Robinson and Fisher were phenomenal in the first half, but the Jayhawks in the second half